Hello, Paula. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I just made you a co-host.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Since it's just the two of us, I do have a question for you.
Do you want to stop the recording?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for Dane Buy Local. Very excited today to greet all of you. My name is Paula Severson. I'm with the Bank of Sun Prairie, and I am co-chair of the Outreach and Education Committee with Jason Haveman, who's my co-chair. And we like to present these opportunities to the members to learn on different topics. And today we have our amazing Zoe Schuler, who's on the board of Dane Buy Local with us. And Zoe owns Z Boutique in Madison, which is a phenomenal store. I love everything in there. And she's going to talk to you about hosting customer events. And I recently got to be the customer at one of her special events and was just so impressed with what she had ready for us that I said, you really should do a training on this. And so I'm hoping that this recording is going to be used also for future Dane Buy Local Shop Local tours. And so Zoe, I'm going to have you just take it over from here.
Sure. Great. Thank you so much. One thing I forgot to ask, is it set up that I could share my screen? I don't need to right now, but there's something I want to share.
Yeah, I'll make you a co-host.
Okay, great. Okay, so Paula referenced the event that she attended and was impressed, and we got great feedback from it. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that, and so I can reference back to that. But I also, my background is in event planning, and I went to school for it. And so any chance I get to incorporate a fun event into my boutique, I am all for it. I think it just makes for a great experience. And, I think the kind of the trendy thing since the pandemic is that people want an experience, and as small business owners, we can give that to them. They're not going to get that experience at Target, but when they come through our doors or meet with us, whatever our business might be, we can give them that special experience with just a little bit of thought, because we have the ability to connect with them. And so I don't know, I just think we've got so much opportunity in terms of these events, and Dane Buy Local with the Shop Local tour is such a great opportunity to find new customers, for them to find us, and for us to connect with them and give them that experience that they missed over the last several years. So Z Boutique was part of the first tour, which was a Galentine's Day themed one. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically typically celebrated right before Valentine's Day. And it's all about getting together with your gal pals, having fun, shopping, eating waffles. It's was a play off of an episode of Parks and Recreation, which is a TV show. So we went with that theme and just ran with it. We brainstormed just fun things we could do surrounding Galentine's Day. And we had fun with that. All the girls that worked that day, we all wore pink and red, and we had quotes on our t-shirts, and we had signs up with cute quotes about friendship and shopping throughout the store. And other than that, it was really simple. We had cookies out, and we had flavored water, and we had wine, and but it was a Sunday afternoon, so it was mostly water and cookies. So really a minimal investment from our end. Oh yes, and a photo booth, Paula said. And we did, we decorated. So I spent, $20 on balloons, and, we made a cute little balloon arch, and we set up a tripod so people could pop their phone in it and take pictures. And the thought was that we would maybe see some of those pictures on social media, or they might tag us to get kind of a little bit more awareness after the event too. So anyways, at the end of it, basically, we were thrilled with the outcome. And I'm going to break down a little bit more about the planning process, but it was a Sunday in February. We opened the store just for the event. And my goal was basically, I just wanted to make it worthwhile financially. I was paying for the employees, minimal investment in terms of decorations and food and beverage. But I just wanted to make it worth our while, and I didn't want to lose money. And it ended up being the best day of the entire month in 4 hours. And it was totally worth it. It was so much fun. Everybody left with a smile on their face. We were exhausted, but it was great. So, all right. So basically my thought was we can talk through planning an event, and you could apply this to a shop local tour if you're participating, but you can apply this to any type of event you might be hosting in your small business. But I kind of broke it down to like before the event, things to consider, how I might stay organized. I've got a couple different ways. Because I know if you're like me, sometimes you end up with lists all over the place and it's hard. So if I force myself to like stay organized, there's a couple different tactics for that. And then I'd love to spend the most time on the marketing part of it, and some strategies that I use. And then just a little bit about the day of the event, things to consider, and then a follow-up. Because I think a lot of times when the events are over, we're like, oh, all right, that's it. But I think if we can't forget about the after part of it. So starting with before the event, if you're planning an event or if you've signed up to be part of the shop local tour, it kind of depends. If it's your event that you're creating, you've got to consider the date, the time, and like a theme. If it's the shop local tour, that's set for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you do have to decide on that, I guess the main thing is just figure out what else is going on that day. I know there's always something, but like look at the local community calendars just to make sure. What I love about time now, so many people work from home. So many people have more flexible schedules than they ever did before. So an afternoon event has worked just fine for us, but your customers, your people, and what's going to make the most sense for you. It might be a morning, it might be an evening. And you could even survey your customers to see what works best for them. But we've tried a few different things, and with the right promotion, it kind of all works, because if it's important enough to them, they're going to make it work. Theme, in terms of theme, you don't have to have one. It could just be that you're launching a collection, or you're celebrating your anniversary, or something like that. But just having kind of a general idea of what the purpose is, and then will help you with like your promotion and other decisions going forward. And then, do you want to have co-hosts? And if you do, how are you going to communicate with them? What are your expectations of those people? Are they going to help you with food and beverage? Are they going to help you with promotion? Is there a fee? All of that, just to be really upfront of expectations for everybody in advance, is helpful. And then set a goal. So like I said, for the Galentine's Day event, my goal was to just not lose money. I wanted to at least break even. And we did a 20% off on top of it, which is like not common for us. So it's a little nerve-wracking going into it. But my goal, was I kind of, in my mind, knew what my staffing would cost and everything else on top of it, and kind of had a sales goal in mind. And so your goal could be just to get a certain number of people to attend, or to just meet and network with a certain number of people. It might not be a financial goal. It could be anything like that. Sometimes it's just about getting people through the door so that they can kind of get that experience, like we mentioned at the beginning. And then, okay, let me see if I can share my screen. So I want to show you two different ways that I, hang on. How do I share my screen? Oh, share content. Two different ways that you might want to stay organized when you're planning your event. So let's see if this works. I'm on an iPad. So, okay. So I have two different, here we go. Two different, can you see this? Yes. Okay. Two different ways to stay organized. One of these is from a group I'm part of called the Boutique Hub. But I think that this could work for all different types of businesses. And this is just a PDF that they have provided in some training I went to, and I saved it. So sometimes I'll just print this out and work through this, because it will help me remember things that I might overlook. And some of it seems really simple, the name, the date, the place, your business probably, but it might be a pop-up, and your goal, like I mentioned. And then I'll go through this and check off things as I finish them. Not everything applies for every event. I don't do paid advertising for every event, but this is a good way to remember all of the potential options. And there's definitely more than this too. So sending announcements, are we emailing, are we text messages, are we doing phone calls maybe? For me, because I'm in clothing, photo shoots, but that might just be needing the graphic that you're going to use to promote the event. Are you going to promote it on social media? So putting it on Facebook. Are we doing a mailing, paid advertising? You know, and then building excitement would be another thing. So that's what this sharing behind the scenes, preparation on social media, something like that to help build excitement about it. So for us, for the Galentine's Day event, one of our employees built this really fun balloon arch that went up the wall. And we used that in the background of our photo shoots. We did videos in front of it ahead of time to just kind of show that it was there. And we thought all the pink in the picture would kind of grab people's attention. And I think it worked. And once again, set goals. You can set goals for yourself as a business, but also for your team. So what I said before the event to our team was, look, I want you to treat this just like it's your house and you're hosting a party. Yes, we'd love to sell items for this, but we just want people through the door and we want them to have a great experience. So chit chat with them, show them around, just make sure they're having fun, point out the deals that they can get, point out the photo area, just be like the hostess with the mostest, essentially. And it just made it more fun for everybody, our staff included. Food and beverage, what are you going to serve? We don't have to break the bank on this. We're all small business owners. So like I said, we did cookies and flavored water, which is always a hit, and just a couple bottles of wine. Honestly, I think we went through 2 bottles of wine in a 4-hour event. And that's pretty common for us. We don't have a big drinking crowd. But with food and beverage, like, are you in an area where you could partner with another Dane by Local member or another local business? Could you feature, and could that be a co-host or, you know, feature something from a neighbor? Because it's just another great way to let people know, yep, when you come to my neighborhood, this is where you can come to my store and then you can go down the way to get a cookie from this amazing bakery or something like that. So keep that in mind. Don't forget to send reminder emails and text messages. So that's kind of this first page. Sometimes I'll just keep this printed on my desk and work my way through it in the month or so leading up to the event. And then the follow-up. So that, like I said, this is directed to boutique owners, but just posting a thank you on social media is a really nice touch. Sometimes we will segment a list of all the people that shopped with us that day and send an email just with a quick thank you. And then a follow-up thank you with the staff. I'll probably send them a note if I don't get the chance to see them in person to let them know what a success it was or things that we could do better next time. And then I like to write that down too. If you keep this in a file, if it's an annual event, you can come back to it and say, oh, right, next year I don't need to do 20% off. I maybe could only do 10% off or something like that. So yeah, I try to keep all of these in one area so I can easily reference them for the future. And I can probably email this to you guys if you want to use it, but it's pretty straightforward. And then, so that's one way. If you are a spreadsheet type person, which depending on the event, sometimes I am. Let me see, here we go. So I just quickly made up like a mock spreadsheet for the Galentine's Day event. And you know, for something like the Shop Local tours, we're so lucky. Dane by Local does a lot of the work for us. So really what we just have to do is promote the event for our business. You know, our customers aren't gonna not be our customers even when they experience these other businesses that are part of the event. So to kind of spread the word to our customers, they can grab a friend. Yeah, they'll come into our business, but they'll also, you know, they're shopping with us because probably partially because they care about shopping local. And so I think it's just kind of a goodwill thing to spread the word and let them experience other small businesses too. So, okay, so spreadsheet scenario could look like something like this. Typically, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, I do different sheets for each thing. I've kind of broken it down, but I'll usually I'll handwrite like a master list of, I'll just kind of dump everything on a sheet of paper that I think I might need to do for the event. And then, sometimes I'll group it so that I can sort the spreadsheet by item and who's responsible. For a lot of us as a small business owner, we're responsible for all of it. So you might not even need that column. That's all right. But, very simple, like housekeeping things, like, did you pay the fee? Did you fill out the form to sign up? And then have you ordered the swag? I can't tell you how many times events I'm scrambling for swag at the last thing, who can print me something fast enough, or, can I get a pen to put in the swag bag? So usually that's something on the top of my list, so I don't put it off till the end. Shout out for the Shop Local tour. I got the cutest keychains from Madison Top Company. They were awesome and very affordable and quick to work with. And then marketing is going to have its own separate tab, but I do add some like bigger things to this. How are we going to promote it? Email, postcards, a photo shoot, those kind of things, social media, decorations. What about the schedule? Do we need signage? Do we need to order it? Can we print it ourselves? What about food and beverage, which we talked about? Any special instructions for the staff? Like for us, we had specific things we wanted everybody to wear, so I had to make sure that was ready. And then my last thing that I just added on there this morning, I was like, oh, we did bag stuffers. Everybody that bought something, we gave a card for a future discount too, because you want to be able to get them to come back. And so, yeah, so master list, and then you can kind of break this down. This is very short because I just was brainstorming some things that we could have done for the Shop Local tour. If you're planning an event alone and you're developing your own graphics, you maybe want to do a spreadsheet for that. Do you need different sized graphics? Do you need to take pictures? Do you have somebody that designs them for you? Do you do it yourself in Canva? For something like the Shop Local tour, Dane by Local will provide a flyer for you, and then you can reshare a lot of their digital images from the social media to help build excitement too. So this maybe for the Shop Local tour, for example, wouldn't be as important, but it is helpful if you're starting from scratch on your own. So that's where I would use that one. And then social media, this can be as robust as you want it to, or really simple. Sometimes I'll use this as like just a checklist of, did I remember to create a Facebook event? Have I scheduled posts in the event? Have I scheduled posts in my Facebook group and my Facebook page? And what about Instagram? And what about TikTok? Do I have video I can use, to just go through all of this? Sometimes I'll use this even as like when I'm going to schedule and when I'm going to post all of the things. It just kind of depends on the event, but I'll usually just brainstorm all the ways I want to spread the word on social media and just make a list right here. And then I guess marketing, probably we should have talked about marketing first, because social media is a component of that. But what I really love to kind of stress is the importance of marketing the event and telling people, like, how can we spread the word of like what's in it for them? Why would they come to our event? As a small business owner, I know like this is my world, and I'm sure you can relate too. Like, it's so obvious to me why they would come. This is such a cool place. Like, why wouldn't you want to come to my store? Because I am here all the time and I've spent so much time building it, but it's not so obvious to others. So like for the Shop Local tour, maybe we need to remind them why it's important to shop local, or we need to remind them what's in it for them. For the next one, you're going to get to taste amazing food from all around Madison, all locally owned. And we can kind of even tease what kind of food you're going to get to taste. I mean, for $49 to go to 6 different restaurants, you couldn't do that anywhere. This is an amazing experience. So you've got to figure out kind of, I guess, short one-liners to kind of tell them what they're going to get out of it. We just got to remind them, because I know it's obvious for us, but it's not obvious for everybody else. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing is, in terms of marketing, I don't remember where I heard this, but some podcast I listened to, or webinar, talked about this rule of 7. And it's basically like, if you're trying to sell something, whether it's tickets to an event or, even just people to come to a thing you're doing, or for me, I'm trying to sell a shirt. A lot of times, if you need to hit them with it 7 different ways. Just posting something one time on social media, who knows if they're going to see it? Maybe even posting it a second time, they might not see it, or they might see it, but they might not click. So for me, with that rule of 7, if something's not selling in my store, or if I'm not getting traction on an event I'm posting, I sit down and think about, okay, how have I put this out there? Have I, actually, like, let me cheat sheet really quick. Have I posted on Facebook? Have I posted on Instagram? Is there a banner on my website? If it's an item of clothing, is it in a collection? If it's an event, is there a very clear call to action on my website with an image, like buy your tickets here? Have I done an email? Have I done a video? There's just, keep going. We have an app. So have I done a push notification? Or if you do text message marketing, has there been a text? Just brainstorm all the ways you communicate with your customers. And have you done all of those? For me, with a clothing store, sometimes it means I need a different image. The image I'm using, or the model that I used, or the angle didn't quite work. And sometimes it just means you have to kind of refresh it. And so give yourself plenty of time to try all those 7 things. You're not going to, put them all out in one day. And for us as customers, I might see somebody's Facebook post and say, oh, that Shop Local tour looks super good. Oh, I love Banded Tacos. I got to keep that in mind. But then I need that email reminder to sign up. And then I put that on my to-do list. And then, they send another reminder in our Facebook group. And finally, I buy my ticket. So, it takes time. And so just as a business owner, we just need to think through all the ways we can put the information out there and try it in different ways, because what might speak to me might not speak to another person. I might really like a video. It might get me to stop and really pay attention, but another person might not love that. And they maybe want the email with the very clear information on there. So in terms of marketing, this rule of 7 is kind of what's always running around in my brain, and what I did for the Shop Local tour. Like I said, we did lots of videos, social posts, but the reach on social media, we can't control. So I also made sure I had an email series. So it was a sign up to come to the event. I gave them the option, for example, because we knew we were going to be open on a Sunday anyway. I wanted them to buy tickets to shop at all these great places. We talked up Atomic Antiques and all the other businesses that were part of it. But I said, if you can't commit that amount of time, you can come by the store anyway, and you can still have fun. We're going to be open anyway. And as a business owner, I had to make the most of that day. So most of the sales did come from the event, the Shop Local attendees, but I did have customers that trickled in throughout the day too. Outside of that. So for the coming ones, if you're open for the special event, and you have customers that want to come in, they're going to come into this fun party atmosphere anyways. So, invite everybody. It's kind of what I think. So yeah, the rule of 7, just keep that in the back of your mind for everything you do in terms of planning an event, marketing it, and even selling your products. So yeah, a blog post wasn't something I did for the event, but that would have been a good way to build excitement, because I could have used that in email. Even a post-event recap using a blog post for like SEO, and for if it's going to be an annual thing, that would be a great thing. Using event footage and pictures from the day of to make a reel. So then people that see it, they're like, oh, next one I'm going to. That was so great. And yeah, and then I put paid advertising at the bottom. Once again, I didn't do any paid advertising for this event, but sometimes I will. And then those can have their own line items too. Any questions?
Zoe, Matt had asked earlier on about, if you had a number 1 tip for building excitement on Facebook. If you had to pick kind of one thing, I mean, you kind of highlighted a couple things you could do with some different things, but what have you found most successful on Facebook?
For me, it's like basically doing a series. So for example, if I'm building excitement, I do a lot of live selling on Facebook. And sometimes I only get 10 people watching a live. But the ones that are the most successful, it's a series of things. So that morning, I might do a post of set a reminder on your phone. We're going to be live at 6 p.m. tonight. And then in the afternoon, I'll do a short live video with a little preview. And I think the biggest thing is you need to be excited. You need to talk about your business or your collection or whatever you're promoting like it is the best thing in the world. And then, so just kind of teasers leading up to it I've had the most success with. This is going to lead me to a little bit different, but in person, the feedback we got from the Galentine's Day event is time and time again, people kept saying, you guys are the most enthusiastic. And honestly, it's not the most exciting, as long as you're excited, it's going to be contagious. So, when people said that, oh, you guys are so happy. Well, a tagline for Galentine's Day was, it's the best day of the year. So I said, yep, it's the best day of the year. It's just, as long as you're having fun, they will too. So,
And
I
Zoe,
think it's contagious.
Can I add to that too? I think you did a really good job at that event, having different things that would appeal to different people. So your photo booth, you had a couple of social media influencers who love taking selfies. And so like they loved your photo booth, right? And then you had a couple of other ladies like, oh, wine. And so I feel like you had different things that appealed to different personalities, but also that cross generations. And so I think, thinking about who might attend your event and having something that appeals to any potential customer, you did a lot of different touch points. So that was really well done too.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, I think, that's important to consider who might be there. For us, we are a plus size clothing store. So we know that everybody that walks through the door, especially for an event like this, isn't necessarily going to be our customer. But everybody has a friend or 20 friends that are plus size. So our goal was to just give them that, make them feel comfortable, give them something to do, whether it's having a glass of wine or we just chit chat with them. There was a few men on the tour and we just made sure we still engage with them. Like they're not going to buy a dress from us. But as long as they felt comfortable, then maybe they'll come back with their wives or their moms or their sister. And so just kind of considering all the people that might walk through the door and what they might need. And that actually will lead me to the day of. One of the things that I think I see at other events that they sometimes don't think about is like the layout and the potential flow. Where are people, if it gets really crowded, where are they going to stand? Are they going to need to sit? Is there room for everybody? Our store is long and narrow and it's a challenge. And so we tried to kind of make sure our fitting rooms were all the way open with the chairs visible. If there was one open and somebody needed to sit, they could. We had folding chairs just around the corner if we needed to pull them out, things like that. And then we tried to kind of spread out our racks as much as we could because we were like, where's 20 people at once going to stand? And it worked out. And also having the photo booth around the corner, and we had the front door open for airflow. We were lucky with the weather that day, but just to allow people to kind of more seamlessly move around. So yeah, other things for day of, I try to just make a list because a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I feel very flustered, like in the hour or two leading up to the event of like, oh, what have I forgotten? There's probably a million things. And so as things pop into my head, I'll have either just a running list going on my desk or I'll use the spreadsheet of just what needs to get done, who can do it. And then you can just have this out for your staff to help with. So I just brainstormed a bunch of things that we did the day of the event, but it's clearly going to be different for everybody. With the food tour are you going to need a tray? How are you going to serve it? There's just so many things. Are you expecting everybody to sit down? Or are they going to stand and mingle? And make sure the staff knows all of that too, so they can kind of guide everybody. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of rushed through all of this, but just I think it's just sitting down and kind of considering all the different angles. But the main thing for me that I keep going back to is like, how can I best communicate what's in it for the customers? Like, why would they come to our event, you know? So, okay, there we go. Is the screen sharing done? Yeah. And then follow up, I kind of touched on it, but just making sure, you know, whether it's a thank you note to whoever co-hosted with you, to Dane by Local. I mean, I don't think they expect a thank you note from us, but you know, like just feedback is always helpful. And then definitely a thank you to your customers, or like an offer for them to come back. Because yeah, you never know. So any other questions, or like, do you have an event coming up? We could brainstorm like the best ways you could get the word out, or, you know, kind of what's in it for them.
I think Matt put something in the chat as far as an event he's got coming up. I didn't quite catch what his question was.
Oh, here.
But take a look at that.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Let me scroll. Here's my link for an event. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We're looking for local vendors. Okay. Let me see if it'll let me. It won't click me off here. I don't think. You can still see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah, I mean, I think clearly start with Stoughton businesses. Hang on, let me just read it.
I can't see the event because I can't get to Facebook from my bank computer. So
Here, I can share. Look, we can all share content screen. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is the right event, right? And I can't see the chat once I've got this up, but so feel free to interrupt me. I mean, it looks like all the information is on there. So for me, like one thing is sometimes Facebook events, like who's seen it? We don't know. So where can we share this to? You know, I would be sharing this to any Stoughton like neighborhood page. Are there public calendars you could share this to? That'd be good, because those are usually free. Like Isthmus, Madison.com, those kind of things, you could make sure it's on there. Something like this, there's probably like Stoughton area Facebook groups for like all different things that you could share it to. Like I see things, I don't know if it's in Marketplace or whatever, but can't hurt to try, that's for sure. And then, let me see, let me keep reading.
While you're reading, I'll put
Yeah,
one. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We did an event recently, and I realized that I could share the page that you're looking at now to some of my friends, but I could only send it to one friend at a time. So it became a little time consuming to do that. And after about a dozen invites, I gave up in doing it. But that is another, you know, so it goes into their messenger part of Facebook, informing them about the event. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Sometimes when I do events, I try to, like, if you have any co-hosts, so you do, make sure everybody's inviting people to it. And then like I've tried things like, how can I encourage people to RSVP and invite their friends? I don't know, giveaways are really tough, but sometimes it could work. And then what about like pictures? Even if it's a stock image of the Easter Bunny or things you can post. And when you go to the discussion part of this, you can, I can't, but you can schedule posts to build excitement on here, just like you do on other things. So And it could be, you could also encourage the co-hosts, whatever their role is, to schedule posts to say, you know, if the Easter Bunny is your co-host, say, I can't wait to meet all of you, you know, with like a picture of the Easter Bunny getting ready. I don't know.
Could
And
I
then in
also,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I could throw something out to Matt, because you know, I know you own Kicks Unlimited. And so what will make your event unique versus any other Easter egg hunt is if you obviously tie something martial arts in there. So maybe having the bunny wearing a gi with a karate belt on it. You know, maybe some sort of games that, you know, tie in the martial arts piece. But you want to make sure that you're not just doing a standard Easter egg hunt, but you want to put your own spin on it so that at the end of the day, it's your business that gets remembered for more than just picking up eggs, right? So however you can kind of tie in those themes, I think would work well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's great. And like, it's not like, are you wanting to promote Kicks Unlimited for this event? Because maybe there's, you know, some demonstrations you could add in, or like let your kid try it for free or things like that. Because it's not super obvious. Or if you're the main sponsor, recognize your business. It should be, your logo should be everywhere. That'd be good. It looks fun.
That was the one.
Kids I know.
That was the one thing I noticed, Matt, when I first looked at your flyer that you sent over. Is it was not clear to me as far as where this was taking place. I did eventually find the address when I dug around, but then, so I'm not from Stoughton. So then I was like, okay, so where is that? So then I Googled the address and it's like, oh, you're doing it at Kicks Unlimited. So then it made sense. Oh, but we lost them. Shoot.
Oh, that's okay. We could follow up too. Yeah,
Yeah.
adding the location here and also in the description would be helpful. So cool. Well, hopefully that was a little bit of a help. Any other questions or any other events coming up we can brainstorm? Let's see, we're at 12:38.
I have a question for you. You mentioned about you had a number of new customers that came into the store off the tour, and you were able to, oops, he's having trouble getting back in, Matt. You sent out email follow-ups afterwards. How do you collect those emails? How do
Yeah.
you?
So for us, we have a point of sale system, and we, you know, put their first and last name and email address. When we're checking them out, we just ask for it. But we could have put, you know, a notebook on the counter. But for me, so what I did was then I just looked at, I did a sales report for the day of, and then I exported that customer list and made a list. I use Constant Contact. So,
Got it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing that when I was thinking about this, I was like, you know, so much of us, we rely on social media to like promote. And I know I mentioned we can't control the algorithm. We don't know who will see it. I don't even know when it tells me the reach of something, how accurate that is, you know, like who knows, but we do own our email list. And so for me, I'm constantly reminding myself to like spend a little more effort in the email, because if I'm having a slow day at the store, or I'm not having success with like feedback for an event or signups for an event, if I put a little more effort towards my email, or it could be text message or anything like that, odds are things will turn around a little bit. For me, I could send out one email and at least I'll sell a couple things, versus a social media post. You never know. It's so random. So that's something I'm always reminding myself is like, I should put more effort into building my email list, because that's something I own. If Facebook goes away tomorrow, there goes my 10,000 followers that, you know, I can't even guarantee that will get me a sale, you know?
Looks
Yeah,
like
in fact, I
Monica
just-
has a question.
Yeah,
Go
speaking of Facebook, I was just wondering how beneficial have you found boosting your post, you know, and
So-
paying for that extra, you know, whatever.
I can't always tell if I wouldn't just boost a post. you're throwing away your money. Just don't do
Okay.
it. But if you go into your ads manager, you can promote a post from in there, one that's already been posted, or the thing that where I've seen a little bit of success, it's so hard to measure, honestly, is like doing an actual ad in my ads manager for something. Yeah. But
Let
don't
me-
just boost.
Let me
And
re
Colin knows.
you just said, don't boost your post. It's a waste of money. Go in and create a separate ad, start from scratch and create an ad that way. Boosting it's a waste. You're just throwing money away.
And so I just went to a thing at the Dream Bank last week about Facebook ads, and that was something that came up again. He did say it's okay in your ads manager you can use previous posts to build an ad from there. Like it basically will take your posts and build an ad. That's okay. So if you have a post that you got great engagement with already, and it's kind of got that organic start to it, you can build on that, but just go in your ads manager and do it from there, not just click that little boost button. But it's very confusing. All the Facebook ads, yeah. Any
But
other
do we-
questions?
Minutes left here. Anyone else have any other questions?
Yeah, Zoe, I put in there before because you were talking about the Galentine's Day event and how that was like outside of your normal business hours. Did you think having a special event or something like this that you're going to do, is it beneficial to have that outside your normal hours of operation? Does it help with marketing exposure, reaching new people, that type of thing?
I think it was just another way to like build excitement of like, this is something out of the ordinary. For us, we are not open Sundays and Mondays. And I do occasionally get a customer that say, oh, I miss shopping on Sundays. And so we kind of were able to use that as, here's your chance. Of course, the people that complained didn't come, but that's all right. That's how it goes, right? So I think here and there, yes. But a lot of times too, we'll just like maybe stay open like an extra hour or something for an event too. Makes it feel a little more special.
So if you don't mind, I have an event that I want to plan for May 20th at my store. So some of you may know that outside of my work at Dane by Local, I also have a little gift shop that has very limited hours over in Middleton. And we have a little doggy section. It's called Kylie's Gift Cottage. Kylie is our dog. And so she gets recognition from that. And so we have a little doggy section. There's some dog toys. Dog treats do really well for us. And we just found doggy ice cream. So it's shelf stable. So it just comes in a little container and you add water to it, freeze it for at least 5 hours. And then it's ready to serve your dog. And we've got 3 different flavors. So I thought, well, how about on May 20th, we do a doggy ice cream social in the store and encourage people to come. So
Oh my gosh.
that's as far as I've gotten on it. What do you guys think? How do we
I mean,
promote?
that's going to market itself, I would think. I mean, people love their dogs. I live right behind the chocolate shop on Atwood. Is it the chocolate shop that does the little pup scoops? So people bring their dogs there. Maybe they're just giving them actual ice cream. I don't know. I don't have a dog. That's awesome. Can we invite some dogs there and do a little photo shoot with them testing it out?
Oh,
We
that's
could
a good.
even take pictures and put like a little like bubble with their review of the flavors. You know, and let them taste before they buy, you know, kind of thing.
That and reach out to any of the doggy daycares. As a fun development person, I'm like, reach out to like Underdog Rescue, you know, a portion of the proceeds could go towards them or the Humane Society or Boneyard. You know,
Yeah.
if you're in Middleton, they're over on the east side, but
Colin, I have an idea for you too. Being that I work in glass art, I often do memorials for pet owners when their pet pass. They put the cremation ashes in glass. Yeah. So I can create beads and people can wear them as a memorial to their loved ones. In little paw prints on them, things like that. So it's just another spin on what we can do for the pets.
We
But think
should, yeah, we
about-
should talk offline, Julie. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I think Colin, just like some cool pictures of, I mean, if it's Kylie tasting them, you know, to, you know, and then I love the idea of like a little bubble, or even if it's just a picture of Kylie with the ice cream and then saying Kylie's favorite flavor is this because she can't get enough. You know, bring your pet to
She's
taste
got some-
test too.
I mean, you can really dress her up, make her look like she's in, a big park, and a really fancy affair, or, at the ball game with her Brewer t-shirt on or something.
Yep. Good ideas. Good ideas.
So cool. Do you have them now?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. So they just came in. So
And what other flavors?
there's peanut, which I thought, well, is that going to work for dogs? But I guess it does.
Peanut butter.
They're all specifically for dogs. One's called birthday cake. It's got sprinkles on top. And the third one, I don't remember off the top of my head, sorry. There's 3 different flavors. So, and they just sent me an email that they're creating something else. So there might be some other choices coming, but those are the 3 that I've got right now. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
So we've already done doggy treats. There's a company in DeForest that makes doggy treats for us. And Kylie loves the pumpkin ones. She usually doesn't like anything fruit or vegetable related, but she loves these pumpkin treats. In fact, we'll try to give her something else and she'll stick her nose up like, I don't want it. She wants the pumpkin ones. So yeah. So I tell that to people and those just fly out the door when I tell people that. So we've had to restock those often. So yeah.
So I'd be
Yeah, I think-
curious who else is here. So like Colin, you said that your shop is what? Kylie's Cottage?
Kylie's Gift Cottage in Middleton Hills, if you know where that is, on Century Avenue. The Metro Market, which used to be Pick and Save, is in our parking lot in Middleton. Yeah, we can go around. Sorry, we should have done this at the beginning. Julie, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Julie Lucasitis, owner of Bedazzled by Jules. I have a mobile glass art studio and travel around the state. I'm actually expanding out of the state now these days, teaching glass classes with no experience necessary. And I also sell retail as well. Thanks.
Do you have a website you want to share with us?
Sure, I'll put that in the comments.
Okay, great. Jason?
All right. Yeah, I'm Jason Hafman. I am the owner of a small business at Your Core Communications, helping people with video projects. I've also kind of spun off this Go Local Wisconsin idea to try to promote and uplift businesses all around the state whenever possible using social media. And yeah, I'm on the board and I host the radio show weekly that we do highlighting businesses. So all those things and a few others.
Yeah, if any of you want to be on Jason's radio show Saturday morning, reach out to Jason. He'll line you up. Monica.
I'm Monica Wahlberg. I'm the development director for the River Food Pantry. So we're a little different than most Dane by Local members in that we're technically not a local business, but we actually get a lot of donations from a number of local businesses for our clients. And we're actually developing a little how to support the river in the community that will go in all the swag bags for the local upcoming buy local tours.
Great, terrific.
But we do a lot of events ourselves, so this was actually very helpful. Thank you.
Good. Glad to hear it. Matt. I know Matt was having trouble connecting before.
I'm not at a point where I can do that right now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
That's all right. Monica, one thing that I thought of, I'm sure like when I'm planning an event and I'm thinking about what's in it for other people, a lot of times it's like, is there a feel good aspect to it? And that might be partnering with an organization like yours. And a lot of, times my other thought process is how can I increase the reach? Well, if I'm going to have a give back component to it, country might have a bigger reach than I do, and we can help kind of promote it because everybody benefits then. So, thinking about what types of organizations make sense. We do a resale event in our store and we donate the unsold items to Middleton Outreach. And we usually then will like take pictures of when we weigh the clothes that we donate, and it's just kind of a fun thing. So the people that consign the clothes, they don't care that it didn't get sold because it feels good that it's going to a good place too. So just kind of cross promoting that way. Yeah.
And I'll just jump in too. I mean, I introduced myself at the outset, but I'm the branch manager for Bank of Sun Prairie's Cottage Grove location. And I have a lot of creative ability within my branch to host special events. So I like to do events just for community engagement. It's not, we're trying to get customers or anything like that. We're just having fun. We're supporting local businesses. So last St. Patrick's Day, we did a community-wide scavenger hunt. And had people stop at local businesses, then they'd get the next clue to the next business. And me and my team, we wrote limericks for each of the locations, and then they finished up here. And it was just a lot of fun. I dressed up as a leprechaun that day. We have pictures of it. It was fun. And then like I do a fall pumpkin painting event that again, it's just a community engagement. We're not, and that's a really popular one. We do it right outside the bank here. It's messy. Lots of kids and lots of paint. But I think having those fun things just really, leave a great impression with your customers. And then making sure, like Zoe said, having the staff or having the people that are around and are engaging people in conversation and building those relationships really is a key component. And so that's something we really try to do.
Yeah. And like, because we are small business owners, if your staff's engaging with the attendees, then when they come into the bank or they run into them at the grocery store, they have that connection. It just makes it more special,
I think that's a big part of it, Zoe, it's that we're all part of this community. And so how can we link together? And that's one of the reasons why we feel very strongly about being a member of Dane Buy Local, is because we have so many business connections that we want to be a partner.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I know we're getting close to our 1 o'clock hour here. Like I said, I think in the chat, we're going to obviously make this recording available to share. So I don't know, Colin, if you have the ability to make sure to email it to Matt afterwards, but we really appreciate your time, Zoe, and sharing your methodology and your planning. Love the creative conversation that we had as a group here, and it was great to meet some people I've not met yet. So with that, I think, Colin, do you have anything else you want to add?
I'll just put a couple plugs in for things we've got coming up here shortly. If you haven't heard about our pie event that we've got going on, you can order pies online right now at danebuylocal.com. Deadline is tomorrow, and pies can be picked up or delivered on Pie Day, which is March 14th, next week, Tuesday. Lots of choices of pies. Also, Soup On is just started for another week there with pickup next Tuesday as well. And also next Tuesday is the morning breakfast for Dane Buy Local. So we invite all of you to join us at the breakfast, Dane County Humane Society. We will be there. The program starts at 8 o'clock. And Jason is actually our presenter there. So we look forward to hearing from Jason. You can join us in person or on Zoom. So with that, I think we're set to go. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Great job, Zoe.